Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review, and in this video, I'm going to be doing actually going to compare the two movies that this book was based on, or was based on this novel, and it's of course the two Red Dragon movies was written by Thomas Harris. As you can see, I have the novel here, because I don't have the actual video to show. So I'm showing the novel the two books are based on. Of course, this novel was written in 1980, and was reprinted in 2000. There's of course two movies that's based on this novel. Oh, sorry for the glare here. This is of course Red Dragon we're talking about, and we'll talk about the two movies. And I actually like the remake, the 2000. I think it was 2005 or 2006 remake. I actually like the remake better than the original film. So we'll discuss the original film first. And the original film came out in 1986, and it was not named Red Dragon. It was called Manhunter. And the reason why it was called Manhunter was because at the time, of course, it was still a problem between the United States and the Soviet Union at the time. And so if they didn't want to use the word red in the title, even though the movie studio got the rights to make Red Dragon, they didn't want to use the actual original title because they think the audience would think it's maybe a communist plot or something. So they took the story and they just renamed it Manhunter. For those who don't know, this is a story about, of course, those of you who have seen the television series Hannibal, the characters that from this novel were used in a television show. So it's like a prequel series to this novel. And of course, those who don't know the story, it's a story about an FBI agent named Bill Graham. In the original movie, Manhunter was played by William Peterson. He tracks down a serial killer named Red Dragon. The title Red Dragon is the actual name of the serial killer, or nickname of the serial killer. So, and Bill Graham was retired from the FBI because of the fact that he had captured at the time the most infamous serial killer who was elected. And he was so traumatized over that experience that he decided to retire from the FBI, or at least be semi-retired. But Jack Crawford, who was the head of and he was the only character that carried over two stories. That's this story, and of course Silence of the Lambs is the only character that carried over. It was carried over to the sequel novel, which was Silence of the Lambs. And he's put him out because Jack Crawford needed his help, or Will Graham's help, to solve this murder. And it was like two families were killed. I think it was one in Ohio, as I remember from the novel, and one in Florida. And Will Graham's character was in Florida at the time, so I figured, it's a little convenient. So I figured get Will Graham's help. And at first he was reluctant to do it, and then he was convinced to do it. And of course he investigated it, and then of course obviously when these stories are going to go, captures the villain or kills the villain at the end of the story. But one thing they didn't like about the original movie Manhunter was they took too long to show the killer. And the original Manhunter was directed by Michael Mann. I should point that out. And it took, for me, in my opinion, it took too long. It took more than halfway, and it was like a 2-hour movie, or 2-hour 6-minute film. They added scenes in it. It took too long to introduce the killer in the original Manhunter film. And it did, in a way, follow the story for the most part, except for the unlike in the remake, I felt like the remake followed the novel more than the original Manhunter. Even though for the most part, Manhunter did follow the original novel, but unfortunately, showed the villain way too long. It took way too long and I'm thinking, what, as I first saw this film, because first I read the novel before I saw the film, and it was like years later. It took me years to get a copy of Red Dragon. Because I saw Silence of the Lambs, I read the novel, and then when Hannibal came out, I read the novel first before I saw the movie. And then I went back and I read Silence of the Lambs, and then I read Red Dragon, because I heard it was going to make a remake of Red Dragon. So I read the novel, and then I rented the original movie so you compare the two versions. And it took way too long to introduce the villain in the original Red Dragon. On Manhunter, it took way too long to introduce it. In the novel, you meet the villain way much earlier in the novel. And that's why I like the remake, because you do see a lot more of the villain in the remake. The original film, one thing that it did get right in Manhunter was that they have very little screen time of Hannibal Lecter. Because Hannibal Lecter in Red Dragon was such a minor character. We did show the confrontation that Will Graham has with Hannibal Lecter in the insane asylum, and Hannibal Lecter was played in the Manhunter was played by Brian Cox and not Anthony Hopkins. And all the other versions was played by Anthony Hopkins, but in this particular film it was played by Brian Cox, and he did a good job for the. There was like 2 scenes total in the whole film, and he wasn't talked about a lot because he wasn't a central character. In the other Hannibal Lecter films that came out, like Silence of the Lambs was Hannibal, and then Hannibal Rising, he was like the central character. Not in this film. At least in this film, we got it right with how they handled Hannibal Lecter's character. Give him about as much screen time as Thomas Harris originally did in the novel. In the novel Red Dragon, give him just as much screen time you can see in the original Manhunter film. That changes with the remake. But like I say, I'm not saying that Manhunter was not a bad movie, but I thought it was kind of boring and kind of long to get through it. But for the most part, it was like the first half of the film when Will Graham was doing the investigation, goes down to one of the houses and he has a tape recorder and tries to kill his minds. And they did use that technique in the Hannibal television show. But it was almost the same technique. But in the movie, I really didn't like the fact that it took too long to introduce the villain. Years later, almost 20 years later, I think it was like 2007, I believe, they finally came out with a remake of Red Dragon. And the reason when that film was remade was, of course, the success of Silence of the Lambs, #1, annoying as the novel was the film, and it swept all the major categories in the Oscars. And it was one of 3 films that won what people consider the 5 major awards, Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Actress, and Screenplay, which I mentioned all that stuff in my Silence of the Lambs review. But because of the success of that one, Thomas Harris wrote the book Hannibal, and that movie came out, which I might do it another time, review that film. That movie became a modern success in the film, even though the critics pretty much panned that film. Do that film. But because of the success of Hannibal, they said, let's go back and redo Red Dragon. And at that time, after the Thomas Harris wrote Hannibal, they couldn't convince him to write another novel. at that point, or another Hannibal Lecter novel. So so they decided, oh, let's go read back and do Red Dragon, which they did, and Bruce Banner directed the film, and they brought back in Anthony Hopkins to play Hannibal Lecter, and they gave this Hannibal Lecter became such an iconic character at that point in the two films. But more times than Hannibal. So they decided to give him more screen time. And that's, of course, the one real big complaint that people have with Red Dragon, was to give Anthony Hopkins more scenes that was not in the original novel. And so, when I saw that, I figured, hey, this is not, I didn't think it was such a horrible idea. I mean, other than that, the remake of Red Dragon except for those added scenes, pretty much follow the book, and that's why I like the remake more. Even though I know I'm going to get it from people who are other YouTube critics or internet critics, and plus I'm going to get it from people who like. I'm sure there's somebody's going to make a comment blasting me for liking Red Dragon more than Manhunter, but I don't care. I mean, it is my opinion. The reason why I like Manhunter Red Dragon so much is because it does follow the novel. That's what, to me, I know it's nitpicking here, but I always enjoy it if a movie is based on a novel. It doesn't matter which novel it is, but if it pretty much follows what you read in the novel, I will enjoy it more than if a movie that does not follow it exactly. We talk about scene for scene. That's why I like movies like The Da Vinci Code, which I previously reviewed, because it pretty much follow the novel. Same thing with the review of A Time to Kill. It will also pretty much follow the novel. It took very little stuff out of the novel from the movie. It took very little stuff out from the original source material. In the remake of Red Dragon, they added stuff. I mean, they pretty much follow the novel, but they also add stuff in Hannibal Lecter, which, at first a lot of people playing, especially critics at the time, for me, it didn't have that much of a problem, and it did have a prelogue to it, which was when Will Graham actually physically arrested. It actually did have showed the confrontation with Hannibal Lecter, which never really was brought up before. They mean, if any of you have watched the Hannibal television show, it did have a confrontation where Will Graham and Jack Crawford trying to arrest Hannibal Lecter at the end of the second season of Hannibal. And I don't want to give anything away. If any of you who haven't seen the Hannibal television show, it wasn't exactly too successful at it. But in the movie, or the Red Dragon remake, it shows the confrontation between Will Graham and Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. And I actually kind of sort of like that, because it wasn't even brought out all that much. I mean, it was mentioned in the book that Will Graham, in the novel, that Will Graham arrested Hannibal Lecter, and that Will Graham went to see Hannibal Lecter to interrogate and get his opinion on the Red Dragon case. But they have an extra scene, or an added scene when they were in like a gymnasium. They have like to say a walk on a track inside the prison that he's in. One thing they do like that they did add the fact that in this novel where the serial killer had a relationship with a blind colleague, and I think that was named by I forgot who played the blind girl in the film or in the remake, but she was even. I think she was in the original film as well, but she didn't have a prominent part. In the remake, she did. and you brought the whole story. Like I said, it pretty much followed the storyline from the original novel. That's why I like the remake better. Even though a lot of people criticize it and say Bill Ratner ruined this film or ruined the Hannibal Lecter series, I don't think so. Because, like you said, he's pretty much fallen out. Except that he had, maybe the criticism was that he had those scenes with Hannibal Lecter in it. And then you had Edward Norton, who played the Will Graham character. And one of the big complaints was that when they did show Will Graham arresting Hannibal Lecter, he showed that confrontation, and the rest of the movie is supposed to take place 10 years after he arrested him, or 8 years, whatever it is. And when Hannibal Lecter aged 10 during that time in the film, not Will Graham's character. All he did was he beached his head alive. Other than that, the criticism is that Edward Norton didn't age in the film. But Hannibal Lecter, or Anthony Hopkins, does look a hell of a lot older than he did in this film compared to what he looked like in Hannibal, or even when he looked like in Silence of the Lambs. He's much older. He looks like he gained more weight, even more so than when he did Hannibal. But Anthony Hopkins hams it up more. Not so much in Silence of the Lambs. He didn't really ham it up, but in the other two films he did ham it up. Because I think he did enjoy playing the character, but he hammed it up in this film. But the one who played the serial killer, I don't remember who played the serial killer in Manhunter, the Red Dragon in Manhunter, but Ralph Fiennes, who just coming off of two successful roles in Schindler's List and in English Patient. He did a great job as playing the serial killer in the Red Dragon remake. I mean, he did a great job. And like I said, I do like the Red Dragon remake. If I had to suggest which one to recommend, the remake or the original film, I go with the remake. But I do suggest the original film just for me to say, hey, we saw the original Manhunter film. But people still compare the Manhunter to be the better film of the two. I don't see why. I don't see where. I mean, both films were well made, I feel. But I felt the Manhunter was too boring. To me, I felt it was a boring film. And like I said, it took too long to get to introduce the villain. The first time we actually see the villain in Manhunter was when the reporter Freddie Lounds, who was portrayed as a man in this film and in the remake, but the television show was portrayed by a woman in the Hannibal television series, which is one of my pet peeves, and knowing in television but in movies as well, when they get somebody different play the part. Like in the Hannibal television series, he has Lawrence Fishburne playing Jack Crawford. The novels and the movies is played by a white man. So another one of my pet peeves is to add more color to the storyline, which is one of my pet peeves. But in terms of the film, as a matter of fact, in the remake of the Red Dragon remake, the guy who played Freddie Lounds was the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. Played Freddie Lounds in the film. Of course, you know what happens. He gets killed by the Red Dragon character. But in terms of the story, I do like the remake better because it follows the story. So if you want to see the version that follows the story of the Red Dragon, those of you who never read the novel, see the Red Dragon. If you want to see it half-assed, I mean, I know it's not half-assed. Don't see the villain to more than halfway through the film. It's not lousy. And that was, the original Manhunter film. So I hope you enjoy watching this video. Please please watch my other videos. Because I just noticed that now my previous videos showing like maybe not even five views. Maybe I have my other videos which I'm getting a little disgusted with. Oh, I have one particular video that's over 200 views, and then meanwhile I have films like my Star Wars reviews or my Star Trek reviews doesn't even have 10. And my review of Murder Small Town X has over 200 views. I don't know why. So please like the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video to your Facebook pages or link it, and please watch my other videos. Thanks for watching.